Hi everyone, how are you? This is Rana Sir. Welcome to our Rana Sir educational channel. Today I will talk on a topic whose name is motion of bodies. Now its concept I have already discussed with you. In this time I will apply the application of that concept in numericals. So you concentrate on this topic to know how the application will be done in the numerical, and each concept of this topic I will also explain during the solving the question. Therefore you concentrate on this live video from starting to end to develop your knowledge on this topic. Simultaneously you like this live video and also you share this live video with your colleagues, friends, and also students, so that they can also improve their knowledge on this topic positively. Okay, and I'm going to also tell you one additional information, and you have to follow that additional information in detail. First of all, you have to take one notebook and one pen, and then you have to sit at your location positively, properly, and safely to write all data which are available on the blackboard, and also those informations which are spoken by me. Therefore you concentrate on this live video to understand how the application of motion of body will be used in the numerical. So which types of numerical can be solved by using these concepts. Okay, so during the solution of numerical I will also explain its concept in detail. Therefore you concentrate on this topic from starting to end. Okay students, so first of all I am going to also explain, because this is the also physics for the class 11th, and it is also in both mediums. One is English medium and other is in Hindi medium. Now here I am going to tell, it is based on NCERT pattern. Here I will explain the topic motion of bodies. So motion of body can be moved in three directions, that is along horizontal axis, along along upward direction, and also we can take angle from 0 to 360 degree, and also from downward direction at any angle theta from the horizontal x-axis. So each condition I will also use in the numerical for getting the requirement of the question. Okay students, so you concentrate here. First of all I am going to write its diagram and also its numerical, and then I will use the concept of motion of bodies in the numerical to get the requirement of the question. Okay students, so you concentrate here. I am going to explain. Now here I am going to take two bodies, and these two bodies are fixed. So here one body I will take along vertical horizontal axis, that I will take like this, and this body is represented as like this. Now here first of all here I have taken one object whose mass is also given as capital M. Now this object is connected with a string, and I will say another object which is connected with a fixed rigid point. Okay, now I have to say the point at which the object is jointed with a string. So I will draw a horizontal line. With horizontal line, that thread, that string will make 30 degree angle. Okay student, now so we have to calculate tension which will exist in in this string, that is I will say here will be tension T1 and also here will be also tension T1 which exists in the string. Now I will say this at, at the point where string is connected, that point I will say A, and another point which is connected with mass I will say that point is D, and another in object and strings both are connected at point C, and at the other end the string and rigid body is connected at the point D. Now here the tension will arise T2, and here will also tension will arise T2. So you have to take its concept positively. So here tension will be T2 in the thread. Yeah, in the string. Okay. So this is the figure, and here the mass of the object I have to consider here 25 kg. This object which has mass 25 kg I have written here properly. Okay, this is the unit kg, 25 kg. Okay, so here this diagram is showing it is fixed, and with this fixed point A one mass is connected with a string, and this point and string will feel the a force. That force is also known as tension force. Similarly at the point B I will also say this object and this thread will feel a tension force T1. So T1 I have written here as T1. Now at other end at point C the object and string I have connected, but here tension force will lie in the string T2, and similarly at the point D I have to feel the tension in the string, that is T2. Okay, so we have to find the tension force which are existing in the string. So figure I have drawn here. Now I will use the concept of motion of body, because this body can be moved along this direction at 30 degree from the horizontal axis, and also this object will move on horizontal axis. So we have to consider this tension force which exists in the string, and also this tension force T1 T2, and this tension force is T1 we have to calculate. Okay, now it's all information I will also write in the numerical, that in language, and then I will give its proper solution. Okay, now I am going to write its question like this. Question 1. So here I will say there is a mass, there is a object, there is an object which has mass. Here I will write which has mass 25 kg as shown in the diagram. 25 kg as shown in the diagram. As shown in the diagram. In the diagram. And there are two cards. There are two cards, AB and CD. AB and CD respectively. Respectively. TIVEL respectively. Now AB has tension force T1. Chord AB has tension force T1 and chord CD has tension force T2. Tension force T2 as shown in the figure. Tension force T2 as shown in the figure. As shown in the figure. Okay. Now calculate the tension force T1 and T2. Now evaluate the tension forces T1 and T2 which are shown in the figure, which are shown in the figure. So all data which are available in the diagram I have represented in the language. Okay, here I have written there are two chord. One chord is AB and other is CD. Now AB chord which feels a tension force T1. Similarly, CD that is also a chord and which is feeling tension force T2. Now these thread are already connected with a rigid point and this thread is also connected with a rigid point, but both string, that is both got connected with a object which has mass 25 kg, but this string is horizontally connected, but this is connected with at angle 30 degree. So angle angle between object through card AB. Card AB is connected at 30 degree. Chord AB connected with an angle 30 degree from the horizontal. From the horizontal AB chord which is connected at angle 30 degree. So we have to calculate the tension force T1 and also T2. Okay, student. So I hope that each and every student already understood this question, because there is a mass which there is a object which has mass 25 kg and it is connected with two string, means two chord. One chord is AB and other is CD. Now AB, with AB chord that makes an angle 30 degree from the horizontal, but CD makes an angle 0 degree. It means that horizontally connected. So we have to calculate tension force which chord AB which feels, and also a tension force T2 which chord CD feels. Okay, so we have to resolve this question, and we have to find the tension force T1 and T2. So one information is available here. That information I will explain, because this is a card which is available at angle 30 degrees. So we have to resolve the x component and y component of this tension force, and then I will apply the concept of Newton's second law of motion, and then we will consider this object will move along x-axis, y-axis, and also z-axis, and then I will use that concept, and then we will evaluate its value, that is the tension T1 and also tension T2 force. Okay, so I hope that all these informations which are written in the diagram already I have written here in the language. Okay, so in the language, all data which are available in the diagram already I have translated and written in the English language. Okay, so I have already written there are two cords which are connected with a rigid body and also with a fixed given object whose mass is 25 kg, and also there are two rigid bodies. Now one is connected horizontally and other is connected with angle 30 degree from the horizontal. So we have to find the tension force which feels card AB and also tension force which feels card CD. So we have to find the tension force between AB and also between CD. Okay, so these are the required concepts. So all these concepts I have already interpreted during explaining the motion of bodies. If body will move along at an angle, so I will resolve two components. One component will be along the x-axis and other component will be along y-axis. Okay, before translating all these informations into Hindi, then I will erase, and after erasing I will give its actual concept, and then I will solve this question. Okay students, so for that I am going to translate all these informations into Hindi, so students who are reading in Hindi medium, those students can understand this concept in detail. Okay, so you concentrate here, because all these informations are totally free online coaching classes and you have to take it advantage in detail. Okay, now यहाँ पर कहा गया है कि एक ऑब्जेक्ट है, एक वस्तु। ऑब्जेक्ट का मीनिंग होता है वस्तु। एक वस्तु है जिसका मास होता है द्रव्यमास को हिंदी में द्रव्यमान, 25 केजी का है। एक इस ऑब्जेक्ट को जो होता है एक स्ट्रिंग के थ्रू, स्ट्रिंग का मीनिंग होता है डोरी। एक डोरी के थ्रू जो होता है इसको जो होता है एक रिजिड पिंड से, दृढ़ पिंड से जो होता है उसको कनेक्ट किया गया है हॉरिजेंटली मतलब क्षैतिज दिशा में उसको कनेक्ट किया गया है। और उसमें जो होता है जब ऑब्जेक्ट, जो वस्तु और जब थ्रेड के बीच में हम एक पॉइंट सी लिए हैं, इस दोनों के बीच में एक टेंशन फोर्स जो होता है T2, जिसको तनाव फोर्स करते हैं, तनाव बल करते हैं, और T2 यहाँ पर फिगर में दर्शाया गया, मैंने T2 फोर्स जो होता है यहाँ पर फील हो रहा है। उसी तरीके से जो रिजिड पॉइंट है, जो दृढ़ पिंड है, उससे जो होता है इस थ्रेड को, इस डोरी को कनेक्ट किया गया है, तो वहां पर पॉइंट एक डी लिए। तो इस रिजिड पिंड या दृढ़ पिंड और डोरी के बीच में जो होता है टेंशन फोर्स हम T2 फील करेंगे। ओके, T2 कंसीडर किया गया, यहाँ पर टेंशन फोर्स होगा, उस टेंशन फोर्स को यहाँ पर T2 फिगर में दिखाया गया। ओके, तो वी हैव टू कंसीडर T2 फोर्स देयर। नाउ अब वही वस्तु, वही उसी पिंड को जो होता है एक दूसरे रिजिड पिंड से जो होता है कनेक्ट कर दिया गया, और उसको जो होता है एक थ्रेड से दोनों को कनेक्ट किया गया, लेकिन यह थ्रेड जो होता है हॉरिजॉन्टल एक्सिस से, क्षैतिज दिशा से 30 डिग्री पर वो उसको उस थ्रेड से जो होता है उस वस्तु को कनेक्ट किया गया है। अब उस स्ट्रिंग में जो दृढ़ पिंड के नजदीक में एक पॉइंट ए को कंसीडर किए हैं, उसी तरीके से जो वस्तु है और वस्तु और जो स्ट्रिंग है उसके बीच में पॉइंट एक हमने बी को कंसीडर किया है, यहाँ पर बी पॉइंट लिया, लेकिन यहाँ पर टेंशन फोर्स जो होता है T1 एराइज होगा, वही टेंशन फोर्स यहाँ पर T2 एराइज होगा। अब कहा गया है कि इसका मूवमेंट जो होता है इस एक्सिस के अलोंग और हॉरिजॉन्टल एक्सिस के अलोंग होगा। मींस ये 30 डिग्री पर इस डायरेक्शन में मूव करेगा और हॉरिजॉन्टल डायरेक्शन में जो होता है मूव करेगा। तो इस केस में जो होता है मूव करेगा तो यह डोरी जो होता है यह स्ट्रिंग कितना टेंशन फोर्स फील करेगा, उस टेंशन फोर्स को वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट, हमको कैलकुलेट करना है। उसी तरीके से जो होता है इस पॉइंट सी और डी के बीच में जो टेंशन फोर्स T2 एराइज होगा, वो फील होगा, वो कितना होगा उसको भी हमें कैलकुलेट करना है। सो ऑल दीज इंफॉर्मेशंस आई हैव ऑलरेडी रिटन इन इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज। सो these are the informations in English language, and I have already draw its diagram here, and all data I have already saved in the diagram. Okay, for further calculation I will erase the written language, and then I will also give its proper solution here. Okay student, I hope that each and every student who are reading in Hindi medium, those students can understand this concept how we have to calculate, because this object will move, yet can move along this thread direction or along this thread direction. So we have to consider movement in this direction along BA direction, or along AB direction, या along CD direction, या DC direction. Okay, so we have to consider its movement, and then we will apply the concept of Newton's second law of motion, and then we will evaluate the value T1 and also T2 which fill in the string which is connected from A to B and also C to D. Okay student, I hope that you are understanding all these informations clearly. So you also like this video and you share this live video with your colleagues, friends, and also students, so that they can also improve, that is update and develop their knowledge on this topic positively. And simultaneously you also subscribe this educational channel more and more. Okay students, so you concentrate here. I am going to give its appropriate solution. So first of all I will erase these data, and then after erasing I will give its appropriate solution, that is the tension force T1 and also T2. Okay, now first of all I'm going to explain one. Here I will write first of all solution. Okay, and then you concentrate here. I'm going to give its concept, and then I will give its solution. Okay, first of all I'm considering here x-axis and also y-axis. This is the x-axis, this is the x-axis, so I have written, and this is the y-axis, and the intersection of x-axis and y-axis I have to say that is the origin. So here I will put origin. If any force which is existing along in first quadrant and its by force name is given F, but it is inclined from the positive x-axis at angle theta. So I have to resolve its component along x-axis and also along y-axis. So along x-axis I have to write its force component, that will be F cos theta, F cos theta. Now here I have to consider this angle. So I know the angle between x-axis and y-axis, that is 90 degree. So this angle is 90 degree. So this angle theta, so this angle will be 90 minus theta. I can write easily. So this will be 90 minus theta. It means that this is theta. So I have written here F cos theta. Similarly, I will write here F cos 90 minus theta. This will be 90 minus theta. Okay, so now one information I am going to tell you: 90 plus theta and 90 minus theta, it will change in the corresponding ratio, that is sine. Cos will change in sine, sine will change in cos, tan will change in sorry, cot, and cot will change in tan. Similarly, sec will change in cosec, and cosec will change in sec. Okay, These are the informations and you have to remember it and to put the at required place. Now here I am going to say there is a xy plane. I have divided into four parts. This is the x-axis, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, this is the negative x-axis, and this is the negative y-axis. Okay, and this is the origin. So I will say this is the first quadrant, first cube. This is the second quadrant, and this will be the third quadrant, and this will be the fourth quadrant. Okay, this is very important, and its movement will be anti-clockwise direction. So in first quadrant all trigonometrical ratio will be positive, but in second quadrant only sine and cosec will be positive. So cos 90 minus theta, it is coming in first quadrant, and in first quadrant all trigonometrical ratio will be positive. So I will put here f sine theta. Okay, f sine theta. So along x-axis I have resolved the f component along x-axis and also along y-axis. So along x-axis I have to write here f cos theta, but along y-axis I have to write here f sine theta. Okay, student. So this concept, this concept I will use here to resolve this force. Means AB is a string and it is a force, that is tension force T1, and I have to resolve along x-axis, that is along horizontal axis, and also along vertical axis. Here I will draw a line which is vertically can we draw. So here I will say this is the vertical. So I will resolve this force that is BA, I will resolve. So along this axis I have to write, along this axis I have to write here T1 and cos 30 degree. So here angle is 30 degree, but here angle is theta. So f cos theta, and here is in the place of x, here I have that is given in the question T1. So T1 cos 30 degree, and this will be T1 sin 30 degree according to the given information. So this will be sin 30 degree. Okay, so here I have resolved the vector that is BA along horizontal axis and along vertical axis. Okay, similarly this is making 0 degree angle. So it will have along this axis, it will have along T2 cos 0 degree, and cos 0 degree that is T2, and along vertical axis I will write T2 sin 90 degree. Sin 90 degree is 0. It means value along y-axis. Here I can say that along y-axis I will say force will be 0. That is T2 sin 90 degree. Sin 90 degree. T2. This will be along x-axis. Here I will say this is the angle along x-axis. I will say that is T2 cos 0 degree. Its value will be T2. Its value will be T2 along CD axis. And along vertical axis, I will say this angle is 90 degree. So here I will write T2 and cos 90 degree. So it will come T2 into cos 0, that is cos 90 degree, that is 0. It means that T2 is equal to 0 along vertical axis. Along vertical axis I have to write here T2 cos 90 degree, the value of cos 90 degree which is equal to 0, the multiplication of 0 into T2 which will be 0. Okay, so I have used this concept to resolve dA vector along horizontal axis and also along vertical axis. Similarly, T2 force I can resolve along horizontal axis. Angle will be 0, so cos 0 which is equal to 1, it means that T2. But I will take vertical axis, so T2 cos 90 degree, the value of cos 90 degree which is equal to 0, so I will multiply T2 into 0 which is equal to 0. Okay, so there is no force along y axis, that is at point C. Okay, so I will use Newton's second law of motion to find its value. Okay, so I will apply. So these are the above informations, and I have already used in the numerical for resolving the components along the horizontal axis and also along the y axis. Okay, so here I am going to say this is the x axis. Here I have written x axis. This is the x axis and this is the y axis. Here I have written y axis. So this is the positive x axis, this is the positive y axis, this is the positive x axis, and this will be the negative x axis. So I will write here x dash axis. It means that it is negative x axis and this is the origin. Similarly, I will say this is the y dash axis. Okay, so I will say the force from the origin in the left hand side will be equal to the force along the positive y axis. So all force I will take sum along negative x axis, and also I will take the sum of all force along positive x axis. So this will be one information, that is one equation. And similarly, I will take the sum of all forces along y axis, which is equal to the sum of all forces along negative y axis. So I will get equation number 2, and then I will solve. After solving, I will get the value of T1 and T2. Okay, students, so this concept I have to use. Now this concept I am going to draw above. So here, because I will also use this concept, so this is the x-axis, this is the x-axis, positive x-axis, and this is the negative x-axis, that is I am writing x dash axis, and this is the positive y-axis. I have to write here positive y-axis, and here I have to write negative y-axis, that is y dash axis. Now here I will consider plus infinity, and here will be minus infinity. Similarly, I will consider here plus infinity, and here will be minus infinity. Okay, so we have to follow it positively. So here will be minus. Here I have to write minus negative axis. Okay, so I will consider all forces along negative x-axis and all forces along positive x-axis will be equal. So this diagram I have to remove, and its diagram I have represented here. Okay, so we have to use this concept according to force. According to, here I will write according ACCORDING, according to question. QUESTI, according to question, I have to write all forces, sum of all forces, sum of all forces along negative x-axis, negative x-axis will be equal to sum of all forces all forces along positive 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 x-axis. I have to write like this, positive x-axis. Okay, so I will follow this written statement. This written statement, and then I will make equation, and then I will evaluate the proper parameter value. Okay, so I will write. So here I have to consider. So along x-axis, that is t1 cos 30 degree, which is equal to, this is the force along negative x-axis, and this is the force along negative x-axis, and this is the force along positive x-axis. So I will say this is the equation number 1. Similarly, this concept I will use along positive y-axis and also along positive y-axis, because it will move along positive y-axis. So I will say t1 sine force t1 sine 30 degree, which is equal to, I have to write here the moment of this force, it will move upward direction. So I will write t1 sine theta, which is equal to mass of the object into acceleration, mass of the object into acceleration. Okay, here I have written according to Newton's second law of motion, because this object is moving upward direction, because downward direction there is no any force. In downward direction there is no any force, so upward direction is moving. So if object is moving so in upward direction, so I will say according to Newton's second law of motion, F is equal to ma. So in the place of F, t1 sine 30, which is equal to mass of the object, that is 25 kg, and its acceleration will be a. Now in the question, a value of acceleration that is given that the value of acceleration that is given is equal to 10 meter per second square, and we have to use it. So the value of mass that is given here 25 kg, and the value of acceleration that is given here 10 meter per second square. I have to substitute all these value, and then I will get the tensile force T1, and this tensile force I will substitute here, and after substituting I will get the tensile force T2. So according to this way I can calculate its solution properly. Okay student, I hope that you are understanding all these informations clearly. Therefore you like this live video, and also you share this live video with your colleagues, friends and students, so that they can also update their knowledge on this topic, and simultaneously you also subscribe this educational channel more and more. Now for further above data I will erase, and after erasing I will give its appropriate solution. Okay, now before erasing I will also translate all these informations into Hindi, so students who are reading in Hindi medium, that is in UP board, those students can understand its solution and also its concept and also its solution clearly. Okay, now here I am going to say, if any object which is available here 25 kg, now it will not move along this axis and also along this axis. It means that I will say the sum of all forces along negative x-axis, which is equal to the sum of all forces along positive x-axis, that is T2 I have considered. So I have to write here T1 cos theta, which is equal to T2, but we have to also follow this written statement as the sum of all forces along y-axis will be equal to the sum of all forces along negative y-axis. So there is no any force negative y-axis. It means that object will move forward, it upward. It means that I will say according to Newton's second law of motion, F is equal to ma. In the place of F here, I have written here T1 sine 30, which is equal to mass of the object into acceleration of that object. So acceleration of object that is given in the numerical 10 meter per second square. Okay, so here I have written, so value of m I know, value of a I know, so value of sine 30 degree, that is I also know. So I will calculate, that is I will simplify equation number 2, then we will get the value of T1. When we will get the value of T1, I will substitute its value here in equation number 1, and then after simplification I will get the value of T2. Okay, these are the required way to calculate its information. Okay, student, so I hope that you are understanding all these informations clearly. Okay, therefore you like and also you share this live video with your colleagues, friends and students, so that they can also update, that it improve their knowledge on this topic. Simultaneously you also subscribe this educational channel more and more. Okay, now positively above data I will erase, and then I will give its appropriate solution. So you concentrate here how I'm going to evaluate its requirement. So here I have to write, after writing I will write from equation 2 we can get. Now first of all I have to write equation number 2, that is T1 sine 30 degree, T1 sine 30 degree, which is equal to m into a. Now in the place of T1 I have to write, but the value of sine 30, that is 1 by 2, I have to write here, which is equal to mass of the object, that is given here 25 kg. So I have to put here 25 kg. And now value of acceleration a, that is given in the numerical, that is 10 meter per second square. So here I will put 10. Okay, so after simplification I will get its value T1, which is equal to 250 into 2. So after simplify I can write here 5 to the 10, that is 500 Newton. Okay, the value of T1 I have got here 500 Newton, therefore I have to say here T1 is equal to 500 Newton. Okay, this is one answer of my question. So you concentrate here to write its value. Okay, now similarly I will substitute the value of T1 in equation number 1, and then we will simplify, and after simplifying I will get the value of T2. That will be the second answer of my question. Okay, student, so you concentrate here, I will also get the value of T2. Okay, now all these two informations I will write. Okay, I hope that you are understanding all the informations clearly. So this solution I'm also going to give its solution in Hindi, so students who are reading in Hindi medium, those students can understand its concept clearly. Okay, now इक्वेशन नंबर 1 और इक्वेशन नंबर 2 दिया गया है, जो ऑलरेडी हमने सॉल्व किया है क्वेश्चन से, कि जो एक्स एक्सिस के डायरेक्शन में, निगेटिव एक्स एक्सिस के डायरेक्शन में जितने भी फोर्स हैं उन सारे फोर्स का सम और वो बराबर होगा पॉजिटिव एक्स एक्सिस के डायरेक्शन में जितने भी फोर्स हैं उनके सम से, इसलिए इक्वेशन नंबर 1 पर है। अब देख रहे हैं कि जब इस फोर्स को बी ए फोर्स को जो रिजॉल्व किए कंपोनेंट, तो वाई एक्सिस के अलोंग जो होता है, वाई एक्सिस के दिशा में मींस क्षैतिज हॉरिजॉन्टल दिशा में, ऊर्ध्वाधर दिशा में एक फोर्स हमने ऑब्टेन किया, प्राप्त किया, वो T1 साइन 30 डिग्री है। तो हम इसका डाउनवर्ड फोर्स को हम देख रहे हैं कोई डाउनवर्ड फोर्स नहीं है, इसलिए ये ऑब्जेक्ट जो होता है वर्टिकली मूव कर रहा है। तो न्यूटन का दूसरे नियम से हम यूज करेंगे कि F इज इक्वल टू एम ए, इन द प्लेस ऑफ F की जगह पर T1 साइन 30 डिग्री, और एम ए जो होता है मास ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट, जो मास है, जो पिंड है, जो वस्तु है, उस वस्तु का मास, और वो किस त्वरण से, एक्सीलरेशन मींस त्वरण से मूव कर रहा था, उस त्वरण के गुणनफल को ही हम वो सेकेंड इक्वेशन या सेकेंड समीकरण कहेंगे। इस तरीके से जब सेकेंड समीकरण हमने फाइंड आउट किया पाया। उसके बाद से हम देख रहे हैं ये कांस्टेंट है, एम भी कांस्टेंट है, ए भी कांस्टेंट है, इसको हम सिंप्लीफाई इसलिए हम लिखे फ्रॉम इक्वेशन नंबर 2 वी गेट, इक्वेशन नंबर 2 से हम पाते हैं। तो T1 की जगह T1 लिखे, साइन 30 डिग्री की जगह 1/2 लिखे। एम जो होता है, अब जो पिंड है या वस्तु, उस वस्तु का मास जो होता है 25 kg दिया गया है, और एक्सीलरेशन का वैल्यू जो होता है, त्वरण का वैल्यू ऑलरेडी क्वेश्चन में मेंशन किया गया है 10 मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर। जब इस वैल्यू को यहाँ पर मल्टीप्लाई करने के बाद से हमने देखा कि T1 का मान जो होता है कितना आया, 500 न्यूटन आया। ओके, 500 आया। तो इस वैल्यू को मैंने यहाँ पर परमानेंटली सेव कर दिया। ओके, नाउ above data I will erase, and after erasing I will substitute the value of T1 in equation number 2, then we will get the value of T2. Okay student, so इसमें कहा गया है कि T1 का वैल्यू इक्वेशन नंबर 1 में जब रखेंगे और रखने के बाद से सिंप्लीफाई करेंगे, सरल करेंगे, तो उसके बाद से हमको जो वैल्यू मिलेगा वो वैल्यू जो किसका होगा, T2 का होगा। ओके स्टूडेंट, सो यू कंसंट्रेट हियर, आई एम आल्सो गोइंग टू कैलकुलेट the information of T2. Okay students, so you concentrate here. Positively I am going to erase it, and after erasing I have to write here from equation number 1, from equation number 1 we get, इक्वेशन नंबर 1 से हम पाते हैं, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई हैव टू राइट इक्वेशन नंबर 1, T1 cos 30 degree, T1 cos 30 degree, which is equal to, here I have to write T2, and this is the equation number 1. Now I have to substitute the value of T1, which is equal to 500. That is 500 in the place of cos 30 degree. I have to write here √3 divided by 2, which is equal to T2. Now further I will simplify. Now it is divided with 2. I will say 2 on the 2, 2 to the 4, 1 2 5 the 10, that is 50. Okay, now below data I will erase. After erasing I will give its solution, that is I have to write here 250 into √3, which is equal to, I have to write here T2. So the value of T2 is this much. Now the value of √3 I know I have to put there √3, which is equal to 1.73 to 1.732. Okay, I have to substitute here. After substituting I will get its value, that is the value of T2. I can write here T2, which is equal to 250 √3, 250 √3 Newton. This is the second answer. This is the second answer. Okay student, so the value of T1 I have calculated 500 Newton, and the value of T2 I have already calculated 250 into √3 Newton. Okay student, so these are the requirement of my question. So question was very easy, only we have to assume the information to evaluate the tensor force T1 and also T2. Now first of all I have resolved the vector dA along horizontal axis and also along vertical axis. Similarly this force, because from the horizontal x-axis it is inclined at an angle 30 degree, and it is also horizontal. It means that the angle is horizontal 0 degree, so cos 0 means 1, T2 into 1, that is T2. And when I will consider along y-axis, that is vertical on along vertical axis, so angle is 90 degree, so cos 90 degree, which is equal to 0, so T2 into 0, that will be 0, means at the point C there is no vertical force. Okay, but at point A vertical force is available here, T1 sin 30 degree. Okay, so I have used the sum of all forces along x-axis and also the sum of all forces along y-axis x-axis, positive x-axis will be equal. Similarly along y-axis, but positive y-axis I have got a force, but negative y-axis there is no force. It means that object will move upward. So according to Newton's second law of motion, I have written this one. So after solving equation number 1 and 2, then we have got the value of T1 and T2, and I have written here T1 is equal to 500 Newton and T2 is equal to 250 into root 3 Newton. Okay student, I hope that you are understanding all solution of this question properly. Okay, if you have any doubt, a query related to this topic, so you type, write your information in the comment section positively, and then you send. After sending, I will receive, and after receiving, I will give the appropriate solution of your question in detail. Okay student, and if you are understanding all this question and also its solution, so you like this live video, and also you share this live video with your colleagues, friends and students, so that they can also update, that is improve their knowledge on this topic. And simultaneously you also subscribe this educational channel more and more. Okay student, now thank you for watching this live video. I will always meet with you on the same time, that is 30 minutes past to 7 o'clock to 30 minutes past to 8 o'clock. If question and its concept will take time slot more, that is time duration more, so I will give you after completing the solution concept and also the solution of the question, and then I will terminate the communication with you. So one information I am also going to say you, all data which are available on the YouTube, these are the free online coaching classes, and you have to take its advantage more and more. Okay student, now so on the, if you need to read mathematics for the class 10th, 11th and 12th, already I have prepared concept and solution of the questions according to chapter wise. I have already prepared and uploaded on my YouTube channel. You go and properly see in my playlist, video playlist section, and then properly you read and you take its advantage, because these are the free online coaching classes. And also you also need to take to read about the concept of physics class 10th physics, class 11th and class 12th. So all data are available in both medium, that is in English and also in Hindi medium. So you prefer, and then according to chapter wise, and then you study, and then you improve your knowledge on those points. Okay student, so thank you for watching this live video, and I will meet you with you on the next day on the same time. Jai Hind, Rana sir.